Argument analysis is a very important part of what we're doing. And while I love rhetoric, I think that it's a useful tool, especially in terms of identifying how well somebody understands their audience. And I do absolutely love stasis theory as a tool, and it allows us to do a great job of figuring out, why an argument does or does not work. In terms of academic argumentation, I don't think there's any tool that's as powerful as the Tolman system. Simply because it allows us to break things down into the most discrete parts possible. And not only is it useful for figuring out other people's arguments, it's extremely useful whenever it comes to crafting our own arguments and seeing what we have and what we don't have. Which is not to say that none of the others can do that, but the Tolman system does it just a little bit better. So what is the Tolman system? Well, this comes to us from the legal world. The idea is that you can construct any argument the same way that you would construct a court case. At the core of every argument is going to be a claim. That particular claim can be proven via evidence that we call grounds within the Tolman system. There are going to be assumptions that have to be made in order for that claim to be true. Those are called warrants. However, you can find evidence to prove that those assumptions are true to make the implicit explicit, and that's called backing. Most importantly, though, this deals with rebuttals, which are going to be things that would somehow weaken the claim, whether they're alternative theories or counter arguments to that particular claim, or whether they're going to be refutations that are going to disprove the grounds or the backing that support the claim and the warrants. And some of them are going to be valid and some of them are not. You don't have to deal with the ones that are invalid. But for the valid ones, then we're trying to make the truest argument that we possibly can in academic writing. So then we're going to take all of that information and synthesize it into a qualified claim. That it's a claim that we can defend. It's one that makes concessions for whenever our claim is not true, and it only deals with the times that our claim is true. So I'm going to walk you through that piece by piece using our same example that we've been using of superheroes. So let's say we're going to go with the central claim of Captain America is the best superhero. It's a claim that's easy for me to make because I personally think that it's probably true. So let's say that's going to be our central claim. Captain America is the best superhero. Well, the grounds upon which we can base that claim, one, he stopped the Red Skull from taking over the world back during World War II. He prevented New York from being completely destroyed by the alien invasion and saved the rest of the world from Loki and the Chitauri. He prevented Ultron from ultimately destabilizing and destroying the entire planet. And he was integral in preventing the utter destabilization of the United States and the world governments by the Winter Soldier as well, all of which I would argue are very superheroic acts. So those are going to be our grounds that support our claim. Now, the warrants that are going into this are, at the very least, going to be definitional. What does it mean for something to be super, and what does it mean for something to be a hero? Well, we're going to have to dig into some backing in order to make that particular argument. So, taking that word apart, superhero. Super comes from the ancient world, and it roughly translates into above. Sometimes it gets translated as an alternative to ultra, which would be beyond, but something that is either above or beyond. And in this case, above or beyond people in a similar category. So in this case, Captain America is a human. So compared to other humans, based on what we see from the movies, then he's definitely stronger than most people. He's definitely more agile than most people, and he's a pretty good leader for the most part. So he's definitely beyond me, who can't even get a toddler to listen to me because he can wrangle an entire team of superheroes with the help of Nick Fury. But heroes, on the other hand, is a little bit thornier. It's a little bit harder to track down because we generally use this term to mean someone who is brave and fights the good fight. I don't like that definition. It's not a very defensible definition because it's just a little bit slippery. So I would rather use a literary definition. And in this case, the literary definition of hero is going to be someone who embodies the values of their culture. So, other examples of heroes would be Gilgamesh was an extremely strong and courageous character. He was a Mesopotamian hero because those were the things that they valued. Aeneas was extremely dutiful. He lived according to the Roman code of honor to the exclusion of basically all else. So to a Roman, he was a great hero. Now, to us, he wouldn't be a great hero, but to us, Captain America would be a great hero. He is consistently courageous. He's willing to put his life on the line or take risks or sacrifice himself um, for greater good, stability, safety, freedom, things like that. He's a very compassionate hero. Um, he is willing to put his life on the line for his teammates, and he's willing to take risks for other individuals. And then, of course, he is going to be a contemplative superhero. He's very thoughtful, he's very tactical, he's a good leader. So, since those three things are the core definition of what it means to be a hero in America, those are the values that we tend to push harder than anything else here in the United States, uh, then he would qualify. By the way, if you're curious about those particular definitions, Mark Edmondson's In Defense of the Soul is going to be a good place that you can look for that particular argument. But there are going to be rebuttals to this. There are some people who would say Captain America can't be the best superhero because Iron Man is the best superhero. He also stopped Loki. He also stopped Ultron. And beyond that, he's way more super than Captain America is. I mean, Captain America has a shield that's basically magical, sure. But Iron Man can fly using his suit. He can shoot repulsor blasts. He's got the whole missiles thing. Like, everything that Captain America has done, whenever they're side by side, Iron Man has done it better. And I personally would concede that, yes, that is absolutely true. He is more super. But that the more important part of this definition is the hero, and Iron Man is just not as good of a hero. But at the very least, I would have to concede that, yes, Iron Man should be in the running. So maybe we can make a better argument that one of the Avengers is certainly going to be the greatest superhero. And we can turn this into an argument about DC versus Marvel, or possibly that any of the Avengers is even an excellent example of a superhero. None of them are perfect, but they're all going to be good examples. And that's going to be a more defensible version of that central claim. I've moved from Captain America is the greatest superhero, which could be a matter of opinion or is going to change based on audience, to, at the very least, all of the Avengers are great examples of superheroes.